Before we begin, you must understand something urgent. The truths we uncover here are fragile, and they can vanish from your reach at any moment. That's why you need to subscribe right now. By doing so, you secure your place in a space where forbidden questions are asked, and answers are revealed that no one else dares to say. There was a time when questioning was seen as natural, even noble. Philosophers were celebrated for doubting the world around them, and progress came from the refusal to accept things as they were. But today, that same act of doubt is branded as dangerous. The irony is that freedom supposedly exists in abundance. Yet the moment you use it to challenge the system, you are met with ridicule, censorship, or outright silence. If freedom cannot tolerate questions, can it still be called freedom? Ask yourself, why is it so threatening to simply ask why? Who is afraid of that one word? Control thrives not on force but on shaping thought. If people stop asking, the system no longer needs chains. The silence of the masses becomes the greatest form of obedience. When questioning is rare, conformity feels natural. Entire populations march in the same direction, not because they are forced, but because they stopped imagining an alternative. That is how control sustains itself. Media plays its part with precision. Narratives are repeated endlessly until they sound unquestionable. Those who dare to interrupt the cycle are dismissed as extremists, conspiracy theorists, or troublemakers. Have you noticed how fast labels are applied to anyone who doubts the official story? Isn't it strange how questioning is attacked faster than lies themselves? Education is designed to produce answers, not questions. From childhood, students are rewarded for repeating what is written and punished for deviating. By the time they reach adulthood, most have forgotten how to ask why at all. This conditioning turns compliance into virtue. To question is no longer a path to knowledge. It becomes an act of rebellion. That is why today, simply refusing to accept what you are told already makes you dangerous. Authority thrives on fear. By making questions feel costly, socially, professionally, personally, the system ensures that most will choose silence. Fear of isolation becomes stronger than the hunger for truth. Ask yourself, how many times have you stayed silent, not because you agreed, but because you feared the consequences of speaking? Technology multiplies this effect. Platforms can suppress doubt instantly, burying uncomfortable questions under floods of noise. Algorithms decide which inquiries are amplified and which disappear into the void. This digital control creates an illusion of freedom. You can ask anything, but only certain answers will ever reach others. What good is a question if it is erased before anyone sees it? History repeats this pattern. Every era of oppression began with silencing questions. Once doubt was criminalized, power could rewrite reality without resistance. The lesson is clear. Censorship never begins with answers. It begins with questions. Ask, do you see the parallels between history's darkest times and what happens when voices of doubt are mocked or muted today? Culture enforces conformity through shame. Those who question are painted as dangerous outsiders. Mockery replaces debate, and fear of ridicule prevents many from even daring to think differently. The result is a society where truth becomes fragile. Without questions, lies stand unchallenged and illusions harden into permanent beliefs. What was once absurd becomes normal, simply because no one dared to say otherwise. But the very scarcity of questioning gives it power. In a sea of silence, a single voice of doubt becomes thunder. That is why questioning today is not just curiosity, it is revolution. Ask yourself, if more people around you began to question, how much would change in your daily reality? Would you join them, or would you remain silent? Those who question are not merely resisting lies, they are defending reality itself. Each doubt cuts through layers of illusion, revealing structures of power that depend on blind obedience to survive. And yet, every question comes with risk. The more powerful the truth it points toward, the greater the resistance it will face. That is why those who ask why are treated as enemies rather than seekers of truth. The world has been inverted. Loyalty is rewarded, doubt is punished, and silence is praised as maturity. But deep down, we know this inversion is unnatural. Progress has always been born from discomfort. Have you ever wondered what truths you might uncover if you dared to question the one thing you've always accepted without hesitation? This is the paradox of our time. We are told we are free, yet we fear using the most basic tool of freedom, the question. And that fear is exactly what maintains control. By reclaiming the right to ask, you do more than resist. You reopen the door to reality itself. In a society built on illusion, truth-seeking becomes the ultimate act of defiance. And this is only the beginning. What comes next will reveal just how far those in power will go to keep your questions from being heard. Stay here, because the second part will take you deeper into the machinery that hides the answers you seek. The moment you ask why, the mask of certainty begins to crack. Systems that seemed unshakable reveal themselves as fragile, built on silence rather than strength. That is why questioning is so violently resisted. Throughout history, those who questioned shaped revolutions. From philosophers to whistleblowers, the power of doubt has always terrified rulers. They know a single voice of inquiry can ignite movements no weapon can extinguish. Ask yourself, if one question could change the path of society, what question would you dare to ask today? Control adapts by disguising obedience as wisdom. Those who never question are praised as balanced, rational, or responsible. Meanwhile, the doubters are branded reckless. The labels are reversed to protect power. This inversion weakens society's immune system. Lies are accepted as truth, and truth is dismissed as noise. The guardians of control smile because the people defend their chains willingly. Technology plays a central role. Artificial intelligence, surveillance, and predictive systems not only watch what you ask, they anticipate what you might question. In that anticipation lies manipulation. Have you noticed how recommendations push you towards safe answers, while dangerous questions never seem to surface? That subtle absence is not an accident. Censorship today wears the mask of convenience. Platforms claim to protect you from harm or reduce misinformation. But the true harm is removing your ability to decide for yourself. When questions are filtered, the boundaries of thought shrink. What is left is not freedom, but a carefully curated illusion of it. The danger lies not in what you see, but in what you are prevented from seeing. Ask, how many truths have already been buried before you even had the chance to hear them? The system does not fear answers. It fears curiosity. Once curiosity spreads, its wildfire cannot be controlled. That is why doubt is contained early, mocked before it grows, silenced before it multiplies. Even in personal life, questioning is punished. Children who ask too many questions are called disruptive. Employees who doubt company policies are silenced. Citizens who challenge authority are branded dangerous. The pattern is universal. Silence is safer, and that safety is the most effective prison. By rewarding conformity, the system makes the absence of questions feel like the path of least resistance. But every person who chooses silence contributes to the strength of the machine. Every unasked question is a gift to those who thrive on control. Have you ever regretted not speaking when you felt the weight of doubt inside you? That hesitation is how power survives. The revolutionary act of today is not storming buildings or breaking laws. It is breaking illusions. A single why aimed at the right structure can destabilize narratives built over decades. This is why whistleblowers are treated like criminals, not heroes. By asking questions publicly, they expose the machinery of silence, and that exposure terrifies those in control. Ask, why do governments and corporations fear transparency more than failure? The danger of questioning lies in its contagiousness. Once one person asks, others begin to wonder too. The domino effect spreads doubt faster than propaganda can suppress it. The system's defense is ridicule, censorship, and fear. Yet the very need for those defenses proves how weak it truly is. A fortress of lies collapses under the weight of a single persistent question. History shows us that silence never lasts. Eventually, someone asks the forbidden question, and the illusion shatters. That moment is feared because it cannot be reversed once unleashed. Ask yourself, what forbidden question is waiting inside you, one you've been too afraid to voice? The truth is that questioning is not just resistance, it is survival. Without doubt, humanity repeats mistakes endlessly, trapped in cycles designed by those who exploit amnesia. Control knows this. That is why every system prioritizes obedience over inquiry. And that is why the few who question today are more dangerous than entire armies. Every time you doubt, you chip away at the mask of power. Every time you ask, you create space for others to see differently. This is the revolution hidden in plain sight. But revolutions require courage. Most will never dare to ask, content with comfort. That is why those who do are rare, and why they are feared. Ask, will you stay silent, or will you become one of the few voices that refuses to accept the script? The truth is not comfortable, and the questions that reveal it never are. But comfort is the drug of control, while discomfort is the seed of freedom. So the choice is here now. Continue walking in silence, or take the first step of rebellion. Ask, because in a world where questioning is forbidden, every why is a weapon. And before you leave, act. Subscribe to this channel right now. By subscribing, you join a community of thinkers who refuse to remain silent, who ask the questions no one else will. Don't wait, because the more voices we have, the harder it becomes for them to bury us.